and the world, I can say that now. We have reached freaking 11,500 subscribers, growing by over 800 a month. You guys are nuts, and I love you. And you're all invited. Come all here, we'll party. There's, well, no alcohol at my house because, I'm lame. But there's gonna be coffee. I'll buy more coffee makers. You all come here, we party. Hey, a little bit of a special thing today. Some things are very, 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 very difficult to compare and to get a feel for. And most people go with their gut, really. One thing that is difficult to compare is, whoa, here's my little treasure trove of picks, is picks. I've tried, actually the ones I play, I've always played, well, not always, but for a long time now, these Tortex by Dunlop. Where's my, Dunlop Tortex. And Dunlop USA, the red ones, the H. Once we had for the studio in the US when I still lived in California, we had these made by Dunlop. It was called I2 Recording, and we had these little picks made with the logo, and I've got like 2,000 of them. The only problem is we needed them in blue because the logo for the studio was blue, and now I've got these really, really thin picks that are really only usable for me for strumming, but I've got 2,000 of them. So what I usually play are these two, okay? Those are my picks of choice. But since the Musikmesse, I, of course, have had the pleasure of testing some Timbertones picks. We have shell and stone and wood and metal, which is very cool. And you have seen me compare them in some videos. Obviously, the differences are absolutely tiny, and you really have to listen. You have to have someone who prepares a very good video with a very good amp and a very good guitar, which is me. So why am I talking about picks and stuff? Well, picks are difficult to compare, especially in a video. It's more of a feel and a gut thing. And you have to really play them. Well, I've tried, and you will see me compare picks once in a while. And, but it's difficult. The other thing is speakers. Comparing speakers is incredibly difficult because we're talking not about the cab, we're talking about the actual speaker. So how do you do that? Order 5 of them and actually screw them all in your cab and then compare them in that cab, in that room, with that amp, with that guitar, with those strings. Speakers are difficult. Very difficult to act. I mean, they sound hugely different, but to really be analytical and scientific about it, you'd have to take the actual speaker and put it in your cab in the same position and all this. Really difficult, more of a gut thing. Pickups, same thing. Yeah, this guitar has these pickups, sounds really good. This guitar has these pickups, sounds really good. Well, you would have to have same amp, same room, same distortion, same everything, and actually the same guitar. So the only real way to do this is if you play them and, I really like this pickup, and then you go change them out. By the time the guitar comes back an hour later, with the new pickup in it, you don't know what you've heard an hour ago. You play 3 notes and all of a sudden, well, that's a great sound, blah, blah, blah. There is no way to really know. Pickups, difficult. You actually have to record it with the new pickup, and then compare the two. Some things are very difficult to judge, as are strings. Which brings me to a little thing I'm going to do for you, which is not scientific, but I have to change strings anyway, so why not do it? Here's a little story. I got this thing on loan from Thomann. Thomann! No, that's metal! Thomann. My friends at Thomann gave me this because it's a secret. There's going to be, hopefully, some kind of thing where I do some kind of thing every couple of weeks for someone with something. Anyway, I have been tasked to find out how to get the Eddie Van Halen sound with pedals. So I've done my research and stuff, and so they sent me this. Actually, someone brought it to me. And we were kind of disappointed because we couldn't get that Van Halen 1, that original first Van Halen sound. We tried it the way Eddie had it set up, and it wasn't getting us there. So, well, what did I do? I called up Warwick. Warwick is the German distributor for MXR, and they were super kind. and first of all, invited me to the base camp this year. So for 1 week, I'm going to hang out at Warwick, hopefully doing interviews, filming shit like crazy for you, and getting every tiny detail that you never wanted to know. And then all of a sudden, a day later, they hooked me up with Dunlop USA, or MXR. And Steven gave me a call. Very cool. So I'm like, hey, why doesn't the Eddie Van Halen phaser sound like Eddie Van Halen? And he told me, well, it's because it had the sound that Eddie wanted at the time that they designed this. Of course, it's got the script button to go back in time, but he said that's not necessarily originally the sound from the good old days. He said, get this one, which Warwick was nice enough to send me. The Phase 90. It's 1974 vintage something, hand-wired as far as I can tell. There's a cheaper version with LED and, what's that called? Power plug. This has no power, so you need a battery. It has no LED. This is bare bones and as original 74 as it can get. When you open it, it's very strange because the PCB is actually not screwed in. It's just kind of falling out surrounded by a piece of foam. It's made exactly to the specs that it had back then. And I got a lot closer to that sound that I wanted, but more of that in different video. So Steven was very cool and said, hey, what strings do you play? I'm like, the Darios always have, maybe always will, who knows? He says, no, check this out. And he says, we have the new Super Brights. First of all, very cool packaging. And I'm going to send you some. So he sent me some 10s, some 9s. And I was like, hey, wait, I got basses. Bass strings are expensive. And I always play the cheapest strings on the market because, hey, poor man. You can, you think I've got a lot of money. I don't. I get some of this stuff for free. And I've collected it for 25 years. So bass strings, expensive. And you know what? The guy is so nice. He sent me bass strings. 5 string, 45 to 125, I don't really know. And I've got this gorgeous 6 string, completely handmade bass with really cheap strings on it. So he actually sends me 6 strings. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna go and we're gonna restring some guitars and basses, and we're gonna listen to them with the brand new Dunlop Super Brights. Obviously, a fair comparison would be, let's take the strings I always play, Didarios, 9s and 10s, put them on the guitar, record it, listen, take them off, put these on, record it, listen, and then you've got an A-B. Recording the guitar as it is now is kind of stupid because the strings are old. Old strings versus new strings, even if they were bad strings, always lose. So that's stupid. But on the other hand, I also don't want to, waste a whole bunch of strings to do like an actual big time test. And I got much more stuff to film today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on guitars. You listen. You like. You buy. You make Dunlop happy. That's what we're going to do. Just saw me putting on the 10-46 Dunlop Super Brights on my PRS SC250. It's a mean Les Paul, let's call it that. And the reason why I was talking about picks is because they sent me variety packs like crazy. A lot of different Dunlop picks, and I'm gonna go through a lot of these, put them on the table, and try them out and see, maybe I find a new favorite. Even though this purple, because my logo is purple, my purple Tortex is one of my favorites. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna just listen to them. My first impression immediately, gotta get my mic over here. My first impression of the Super Brights on this guitar was that they feel more immediate, more direct, more I'm closer to the tone, and they react a little bit faster than my normal strings. So I notice a clear difference. Whether that's a difference that I want, I don't know yet. I played a couple of notes, but it feels tighter in the attack. It feels, obviously there's brightness, and it feels, let's call it, less warm but punchier. But well, listen, this is the clean sound through the Carl Martin Custom Shop 50. We also have a Plexitone and a Strymon Brigadier in front of it for some distorty stuff. But let's listen. Front pickup. I like bright sounds. I'm a Strat kind of guy. I like brightness. And holy crap, it's here. The breakup is coming from the amp. This guitar is pushing like crazy. I definitely have to take it, roll it off a little bit. Why am I playing 6/8? Weird. Let's go in middle position here. Very snappy strings. I think these on a tally. Holy crap! I should put them on my tally. Again, a little bit breakup in the back. A lot of bit breakup. A lot of bit. Well, of course, we want to hear it with distortion. So we're gonna hit the Plexitone by Carl Martin. I don't know what I'm doing. More gain? Well, more gain. Yes, they're bright, but there's still a kind of fatness in the low end, which is nice. Call them great metal or rock strings. Definitely very... They have something a little bit evil about them. Well, Well, their name definitely defines it. There is, no matter whether it's clean or distorted, there is this shimmery high end that they have, which should mean that in a mix, which is what I care about, how do they work in the studio, because that's where I'm sitting. In a mix, they should just pop out. On this guitar, nice, very nice. Let's check it out on a different guitar, and let's check out the 9s, not the 10s. Let's find out. As Kurt Cobain so eloquently said, here we are now. With the, well, he didn't say that, with the Music Man Y2D Steve Morse model, the purple one from Deep Purple. So, well, you've seen me put, where are they? These puppies on there. Super Bright 9 to 42. Oftentimes I've played hybrid strings 9 to 46, but on a lot of the shreddy guitars like my Ibanez Gem, Satriani, or the Floyd Rose guitars, and this, I play 9s instead of 10s because it helps you do faster stuff. I don't know, that's what I do. So let's listen how bright they are. Oh, you also have to hit the right strings in order to hear them. You can hear that shimmery brightness more than on my Dadarius, definitely. I mean, obviously an AB would be a good idea, but screw you, not doing that. Too much work. I could really be convinced to play this. I really like what I'm hearing. I have a feeling you gotta be able to play well, because they bring out detail a little bit more than other strings, or other strings I usually try. And that means less forgiving. Let's call them less forgiving strings. If I could actually play this. Oh, how does it go? I would need some more output for this. me noodling around. Nice! Let's go bass. So, we've got a bass here. This is my Sandberg Ken Taylor Basic 5. It's a beautiful bass, lots of options, 3-band active EQ, 2 big ass humbuckers, which of course you can switch to single coil and passive, so a lot of options. Actually, let's start with that. Single coil in the middle, and we go passive. So I'm going DI, which means I'm actually plugging into my Universal Audio 4710D. That's how I record bass, always straight in, some EQing, some compression, and that's how you're hearing it in a realistic recording situation. That's how I record. And what we have here, you've seen it, are the 45 to 125 medium 5-string Dunlop Super Brights Nickel. And let's go active. Something like that. Let's go humbucker. That was horrible. Of course, most bass players will need to know this sound. I'm kidding. Hey, how about this one? Something like that. Duff McKagan wrote some really cool bass parts. Feels as if there's, again, this brightness up there, but still roundness. Hole in the mids. Well, let's get the EQ all flat. Works for me. They're on here, they stay. Let's see how long it lasts, but they feel good. I've had bass strings where you put them on and it just feels your fingers are glued to the strings, and your first impression is just, oh my god, how am I going to play this? Okay, and I'm putting on lubricant like this Daddario stuff here, now putting on string lubricants, and it just doesn't feel right. This, I'm happy, it feels good. I also have a feeling that for some reason the action is really low and nice. I mean, this just feels really good. So I'm a fan. Last test, 6-string fretless. Here we go. Our last contestant in the new string bonanza is my Magnus guitars, completely handmade, custom 6-string fretless ultra boutique bass with one Bartolini in the back and completely passive. Magnus is not the biggest paint shop guy and not the biggest electronics guy, but he's the wood guy. He's got some serious wood. And he just knows how to make beautiful instruments that sound, that die klingen in Deutsch, that resonate. So I've recorded quite a bit with this. I know you see me as a guitar player, but for a lot of acoustic stuff or low-key singer-songwriter material, I love using this bass, and I have to admit, I've always only had the cheapest strings on here because I'm a cheap ass. So when it comes to buying strings, which is kind of really sad. So now we have the Dunlop nickel wound super bright 30 to 130 on there that Steven sent me out of the kindness of his heart, and I've got an extra pack, which is awesome. So let's listen to this again. DI through the Universal Audio 4710D. Set to solid state. Yes. Again, completely passive. I want to go to the D. Again, feels immediately comfortable, beautiful slide feeling. Action is to die for. And the brightness doesn't come out as much here. It's a fretless, okay? That's kind of the nature of the beast. But it's round, it's full, it's the attack is... Hey, I'm very happy I have these strings on here. And if we want to bottom line it, Steven? Seriously, I would be glad and honored if Dunlop decided, hey, we like this guy. It would be cool if he mentioned us once in a while in his videos, or all the time, and says that the guitars he's using in these videos are actually equipped with Dunlop Super Brights. I like them. I mean, seriously, I can afford, strings. But if I find something I like, I'd like to support it. If I support it, I like the company to support me. So you comment below if you haven't subscribed. Why the fuck not? So go ahead and subscribe. And you let me know what strings you play. If you like these sounds, if you're interested. And if you like me to, play these a little bit more. Put them on all the guitars. Which means Dunlop, jump on the wagon. I see you guys.